Some homes feel quiet, but not in a peaceful way. You walk in and something feels off. It's not the lighting, not the furniture, but the air. It carries a weight you can't name. You might catch yourself sighing more, sleeping less, arguing over small things, and still you think maybe it's just stress, maybe it's just life. But day by day, the house doesn't feel like home. It starts to feel tired. This happens more often than people talk about. Because while we clean what we can see, vacuum the floors, wipe the counters, we rarely think about cleaning what we can't, the energy. Homes hold memories, they hold emotion. Joy, yes, but also grief, illness, resentment. Over time, all of it builds up in corners, doorways, and windows, not as ghosts or bad luck, but as a kind of stillness. The kind that slowly drains you. But here's what most people don't know. Energy is easier to shift than we think. You don't need crystals, candles, or deep knowledge of Feng Shui. You just need salt and pepper, two everyday ingredients that, when used with intention, can help release stagnant energy and invite a sense of calm back into your space. In this video, I'll guide you through a simple 3-minute ritual you can do at home, with nothing more than what's already in your kitchen. It won't fix everything in your life, but it might change how your home feels and how you feel inside it. And sometimes that small shift is where everything else begins to move. Because home should be more than a place where you sleep. It should be a place where your body softens, your breath deepens, and your heart feels safe. Part 1. Salt and pepper, more than just seasoning. They sit quietly in your kitchen, maybe behind a spice rack, maybe next to the stove. Salt and pepper, so ordinary, so familiar. You've reached for them 1,000 times without a second thought. A pinch here, a dash there. You know exactly what they do to food, but you may not know what they do to energy. And that's where we begin. Because when something feels off in your home, when the rooms feel heavier, your thoughts feel scattered, your sleep uneasy, we tend to blame ourselves. Maybe I'm stressed, maybe I need more rest, maybe I'm overthinking, but what if it's not you? What if it's the space around you that's tired? Homes, just like people, absorb energy. They hold onto moods, memories, and emotions long after moments pass. The hallway remembers that fight you didn't finish. The living room holds echoes of grief you didn't speak out loud. The bedroom carries the weight of restless nights. Over time, the atmosphere thickens, not with dust, but with energy that no longer moves. You don't see it, you feel it. In the tension between people, in the way you avoid a certain chair, in the pull of silence that feels more draining than restful. And while you may not have the words for it, your body always knows. It reacts, it resists. It quietly whispers, this space doesn't feel right. Now here's the shift. You don't need to burn sage. You don't need to rearrange furniture or spend hours researching Feng Shui charts. You don't even need to believe in anything mystical. You just need 2 things, salt and pepper. That's it, that's the whole beginning, and maybe, just maybe, the whole solution. Salt has been used for centuries to purify, not just for flavor, but for space. It absorbs, it draws out what's been sitting too long, what's become stale, heavy, or sad. It's the element of water, symbolizing release, flow, and renewal. When you place salt in the right spot, it acts like a magnet for old energy. Quietly, gently, it takes in what the room no longer needs. Pepper, on the other hand, is fire. It doesn't pull, it pushes, it protects, it awakens. Pepper has been carried in pockets across cultures as a talisman. In folk traditions, it was placed near doors to guard against envy, anger, or ill will. It represents vitality. It sparks movement where things have grown still. It warms up a cold space, not by heat but by vibration. And when salt and pepper come together, water and fire, what you create isn't just balance. You create protection, you restore movement, you give your home the opportunity to breathe again. Here's what that looks like. You walk into a room that's been tense for weeks. You can feel it in the way your shoulders lift. You want to leave, but you stay. You take a small bowl, white if possible. You mix 3 parts salt, 1 part pepper. You place it gently in the corner. You don't say much, maybe nothing, but you breathe. You allow that bowl to do what it was meant to: absorb, ignite, shift. You don't need to wait long to notice a change. Sometimes it's as simple as the air feeling lighter, a deeper sleep, a softer tone in conversation, a sudden urge to open a window. These aren't coincidences, they are signals. They mean the energy has moved. It means the house has started to let go. And isn't that what we all want? To let go of what no longer serves us. To stop carrying the weight of things we can't name. To walk into our own home and finally feel safe, supported, seen. So yes, salt and pepper are seasoning, but they're also so much more. They are tools, quiet allies, daily objects that, when treated with care, become doorways to something deeper: presence, peace, protection. And what makes this ritual even more powerful is how gentle it is. You're not forcing anything, you're not demanding change, you're simply creating the right condition for energy to shift. You're saying in your own quiet way, I care about this space, I want it to hold good things. In a world that's often loud and chaotic, there's something incredibly powerful about that kind of softness. So the next time you feel that invisible weight, the tension you can't name, the restlessness you can't shake, don't ignore it, don't power through it. Try this instead. Open your kitchen cabinet. Take the salt, take the pepper, mix them slowly, place them with intention, then wait and listen, because your home is always talking to you. You've just needed the right way to hear it. Part 2. The four corners, where energy gets stuck first. It's easy to overlook the corners of your home. They're quiet, still, out of the way, no one sits in them, no one decorates them, but that's exactly why they matter, because what we ignore in our homes, we often ignore in ourselves. The corners are where things settle, not just dust or forgotten objects, but energy. The kind you don't talk about but still carry, lingering tension, old grief, thoughts you never said out loud. You don't see it, but it builds, slowly, silently, until one day the room just feels off, not broken, not haunted, just heavy, just tired. You walk into the space and your shoulders lift, not in strength but in defense. You exhale deeper than you meant to, you look around and nothing is wrong, and yet something's not right. It doesn't feel like you anymore, and you don't know when that shift happened. That's how stagnant energy works. It doesn't announce itself, it just settles in bit by bit like quiet dust in the corners. But here's the truth, if energy can settle, it can also move. And the simplest place to begin is where it gets stuck first, your four corners. This ritual is not dramatic. There are no chants, no smoke, no mysticism, just presence, just intention, and a bowl of salt and pepper. Start with something small and clean, a white ceramic bowl if you have one. Mix 3 parts salt to 1 part pepper, the salt to absorb, the pepper to protect. Together they become your quiet caretakers. Divide the mixture into 4 bowls and place each one in the 4 corners of your home or the 4 corners of the room that holds the most weight. You don't need to say anything elaborate, but it helps to breathe, to pause, to notice the moment. As you place each bowl, let this thought pass through you softly. The guardians take their place. The energy is steady. This home is at peace. You don't have to believe in energy to feel a shift, because what you're really doing isn't magic, it's mindfulness, it's reclaiming a space that's been waiting for your presence. This act might seem small, but it speaks volumes. It tells your home, I see you. It tells your nervous system, we're safe. It tells whatever energy has been lingering, it's time to move on. And once you've placed the bowls, let them be. They don't need to be visible, they don't need to be explained. Their job is quiet, like good boundaries, like unspoken peace. Over the next few days, you might notice changes. The air may feel lighter, sleep may come easier, you might speak more gently or be spoken to with more calm. It won't be loud, but it will be real, and it will begin at the edges. Replace the bowls on the 1st or 15th day of the lunar month, or whenever the air feels heavy again. When you do, dispose of the mixture with care. You can wrap it in paper and bury it in the earth, or dissolve it in warm water and pour it far from your home. This isn't superstition, it's symbolic release. It's saying that energy is no longer mine. And if you've ever felt like your home is no longer on your side, this is how you shift that, not with effort, not with force, but with the quiet power of noticing. The corners are easy to ignore, that's why they hold so much. But when you begin in the places you've forgotten, you remember something important. You are not helpless. The atmosphere you live in is not permanent. And even the smallest act of care done with sincerity can ripple into something much larger. Because a bowl in the corner is not just salt and pepper, it's a turning point, a silent reset, a new breath for an old space. And sometimes all it takes is one breath, 4 corners, and your presence finally returning home. Part 3. The front door, where energy comes and goes. Every house has a front door, but not every front door feels like a welcome. Some feel shut even when they're wide open. Others feel tired, cluttered, or just forgotten, and yet this is where everything begins. It's the first place you pass through when you come home, the first place energy enters or gets stuck. In Feng Shui, the front door is called the mouth of Kai, the entry point of life force, luck, and opportunity. But even if you don't use those words, you've felt it. You've stepped into someone's home and known instantly whether it felt warm or cold, alive or blocked. The doorway carries that impression every time, so ask yourself, what's your doorway saying? Maybe it's crowded with shoes, maybe the mat hasn't been cleaned in months, maybe it's dark and closed more often than it's open. These aren't small details, they're signs. When your door is neglected, it becomes harder for anything new to enter. And when your door is guarded intentionally, it becomes a filter, a boundary, a place where you decide what comes in and what doesn't. That's why this ritual matters, not because it's dramatic, but because it's deliberate. In the early morning, as the light starts to shift and the world feels just a little quieter, open your front door. Let the fresh air touch your face. Then take your salt and pepper mix, 3 parts salt, 1 part pepper, and sprinkle a fine line along the threshold. You don't need a lot. This is not about quantity, it's about clarity. With one deep breath and your eyes soft but aware, say gently, all negative energy stops here, only peace may enter. You don't have to shout it, the energy will hear you. As the sun continues to rise, step back and notice how your doorway feels. Not how it looks, but how it feels. Did the air shift? Did something soften? Sometimes you'll notice it immediately. Sometimes it will take a day or two, but energy listens, especially when you speak to it with care. If you live in an apartment or share a hallway, place a pinch of the mix just inside your door or under your doormat. The ritual is the same, the intention travels. What this does is simple, it creates a boundary. It tells the world, gently but firmly, this space is protected. This home is not open to everything, only to what uplifts, only to what nourishes. That's not paranoia, that's wisdom, that's love in the shape of clarity. And this kind of boundary doesn't just protect you, it protects your family, your rest, your focus. It tells the world, I am responsible for what crosses this threshold. And that's power, not control. Over time, this doorway becomes more than just a place to pass through. It becomes a checkpoint for energy, a place where you pause before rushing inside. A space where you remember this home matters and what you let in matters too. Keep the area clean, light-filled, and as open as your schedule allows. Hang a wind chime if it brings you joy. Add a plant if it softens the space. But above all, treat this entrance as a conversation between the world and your inner life. What do you want it to say? Because every time you walk through that door, you're not just stepping into your home. You're stepping into your own energy field, and how you tend to that threshold, how you honor that entry point, determines what kind of life you invite in. So start small, start quiet, but start. One bowl, one breath, one intention at the front door, and let that be the first of many peaceful returns home. Part 4. Windows, the eyes of the home. Some windows are clean, but the room still feels dim. Some let in sunlight, but the space still feels closed. That's because light isn't just about brightness, it's about presence. And sometimes our homes stop seeing clearly even when the glass is clear. Windows are the eyes of your home. Through them, the house looks out into the world and the world looks back in. But more than that, they are the pathways through which energy breathes. When windows are shut too often, covered in heavy curtains, or simply forgotten in the rhythm of daily life, something in the home begins to blur, not dramatically, but quietly. Gradually, until one day you realize the house isn't watching anymore, it's waiting. You might notice it in how flat your mornings feel, in how creativity slows, in the way inspiration disappears even when everything is still fine. Because without fresh energy moving through those windows, your mind starts to mirror the house. It becomes foggy, dull, a little more tired than it should be. But here's the beautiful thing, this is one of the easiest shifts you can make. Choose a day when the sunlight feels soft, not harsh, not forced. Open every window you can, even for just a few minutes. Let the breeze stir the stillness. Let light settle on the walls like a gentle wake-up call. Then prepare your ritual. Half a liter of warm water, 1 small pinch of salt, 1 small pinch of pepper. Stir slowly with care. Take a soft cloth, dip it into the mixture, and begin wiping the window frames, the edges, the corners, the handles. You don't need to scrub. You don't even need to speak unless the words come naturally. But if they do, say softly, clear eyes, clear mind, let the light return. This isn't about cleaning, it's about connection, about noticing the places where light tries to enter and meeting it halfway. Once you're done, place a small bowl of dry salt and pepper on the windowsill. Leave it there for 24 hours. Let it absorb the weight that's gathered. Let it stand as a silent guardian, not against anything dark or dramatic, but simply against the forgetfulness that creeps in when life moves too fast. After this ritual, pay attention not to big changes, but to the small ones. A sharper thought, a sudden idea, the urge to sit near the window without knowing why. These are signs that the energy has shifted, that the home is seeing again, that you are seeing again. Because when light flows in clearly, clarity flows out. When the house opens its eyes, the people inside often do too. And that's not superstition, that's rhythm, that's presence. This practice isn't about perfection. Some days the windows will stay closed. Some mornings will still feel heavy. But every time you do this, you give your home another chance to breathe. Another chance to look outward with softness. Another chance to invite inspiration instead of waiting for it. So let your windows be more than panes of glass. Let them be conscious portals. Let them be part of your morning, a ritual of re-seeing, a quiet way to say, this home is awake. Because when the eyes of the house are open, the path becomes clearer, and when the light comes in freely, so do you. Part 5. Your wallet, sealing financial energy. There's a moment we all know too well. You open your wallet to pay for something and a quiet worry shows up, not just about the number inside, but about whether what's coming in is enough to match what's going out. It's not just about money, it's about flow, energy, stability, safety. Because money isn't just currency, it carries emotion, it carries story, and most of all, it carries energy. Every dollar you've earned, spent, saved or lost has passed through countless hands, countless moments. And whether you realize it or not, your wallet, the place where all of that energy gathers, isn't just a container, it's a mirror. It reflects how you treat your own sense of worth, your sense of enough. And sometimes it reflects fear. That's why this next ritual is so powerful, not because it changes your bank account overnight, but because it restores respect to a space we use every day and often overlook. Here's what you'll need: a small piece of clean white or golden paper and a simple mix, 3 parts salt, 1 part pepper. Mix them gently as if preparing something sacred, because in this case take a small pinch of the mixture, wrap it in the paper, fold it neatly, and place it in the part of your wallet where you keep cash, or if you rarely carry cash, tuck it into the pocket where your most important cards live. If you use a home safe or money drawer, place one there too. This tiny packet doesn't take up space, but it holds meaning. It's not about superstition, it's about intention. Every time you reach for your wallet, whether to spend, receive, or simply check, you'll feel it. You'll remember this space is watched over, this flow is protected, this moment matters. And while it may sound small, these little reminders shift your relationship with money. You'll stop reaching with anxiety. You'll start reaching with clarity, with presence, with purpose. Replace the packet on the 1st or 15th day of each lunar month, or whenever you feel a wave of financial stress starting to build. Don't wait for the panic, stay ahead of it. Refresh the ritual the same way you'd refresh your energy, quietly, simply, with care. You may start to notice subtle shifts. Less impulse spending, more conscious choices, a sense of ease around money even when nothing dramatic has changed. That's the power of energetic consistency, of choosing steadiness over scarcity. Because money doesn't just come and go through work and effort, it also moves through emotion, belief, and space. When you treat your financial center with clarity and calm, it responds, it steadies, it expands, not always in numbers, but in meaning. So don't underestimate this tiny salt and pepper charm. It doesn't scream for change. It simply anchors you in your own power to manage, protect, and hold what flows through your life. Because sealing financial energy isn't about closing it off. It's about containing it wisely so that it doesn't leak through fear, rush, or neglect. It's about turning your wallet into a vessel, not a void. And maybe, just maybe, when you reach for it next, you'll feel something different, not stress, but steadiness. Part 6. Shielding yourself from other people's energy. There are people who walk into a room and everything softens. They don't say much, but their presence feels like a deep breath. Then there are others who enter and the air changes, not because of anything they do, but because of what they carry. You feel it instantly, a sudden tension in your shoulders, a strange pressure behind your eyes. You smile out of habit, but part of you starts to shrink, to guard, to brace. That feeling, that almost imperceptible reaction, is your body reading energy before your mind has time to explain it. And we've all felt it. Whether it's at work, a crowded waiting room, a family gathering, or even just passing someone in the store, you come into contact with energies that aren't yours. Some are kind, some are neutral, some are sharp, heavy, or draining. And most of the time, we don't even notice how much we absorb until we get home and wonder why we're suddenly anxious, short-tempered, or exhausted. It's not always yours, but it ends up landing on you. That's where this ritual comes in, not as armor that closes you off, but as a soft boundary that keeps your own light steady. Here's what you'll need: a small pinch of salt, a small pinch of pepper, and a square of paper, white or red. Red if you want to amplify strength, white if you want to absorb and neutralize. Mix the salt and pepper together with quiet hands. Wrap it like a small envelope, no bigger than your thumb. Keep it simple. Then tuck it into your handbag, coat pocket, or the lining of something you carry often. Don't announce it, don't explain it, just let it sit close to you, quietly doing its job. This isn't about fearing others, it's about protecting your own emotional rhythm. Because when you're around someone whose energy is chaotic, when their fear, jealousy, bitterness, or overwhelm is too loud, it's easy to mistake it for your own. And if you don't shield, you absorb. Over time, this ritual becomes your gentle no. Not to people, but to the energy they don't manage. It says, I will stay open, but I will not take on what doesn't belong to me. I will remain compassionate, but I will not carry what others refuse to release. And the more sensitive you are, the more deeply you feel, the more necessary this becomes. Not because the world is dangerous, but because your light is valuable. It needs room to stay lit. It needs space to stay calm. You may begin to notice that interactions feel smoother, that difficult people don't linger as long, that you're less reactive, more grounded. Some viewers have shared they feel instantly calmer just knowing the packet is there. It's not superstition, it's sensory awareness. It's the comfort of having a quiet yes to myself tucked in your pocket. If you spend time in emotionally charged environments, healthcare, teaching, caregiving, counseling, this ritual is especially helpful, not because you don't care about others, but because you do. And the more you care, the more important it is to create space between your compassion and their chaos. Refresh your packet as needed. When it feels like it's absorbed too much, unwrap it with intention, say a quiet thank you and release it. You can dissolve it in warm water and pour it away from your home, or bury it in the earth if that feels right to you. Then make a new one not as a defense but as a reset. This small practice becomes a gentle way of walking through the world without leaving yourself behind. It's not loud, it's not obvious, it doesn't repel, it simply holds the line between you and everything else. And in that space you find calm again, because no one should feel drained just from being around other people. You deserve to keep your peace intact, to move through your day without collecting the noise of everyone else's storm, to come home to yourself and still feel like you're fully there. So if you've been feeling more tired lately, more easily shaken by small things, more sensitive to other people's moods, it might not be yours, but it is your responsibility to care for what you carry. And sometimes, all it takes is a pinch of salt, a dash of pepper, and a reminder that your energy is worth protecting. Part 7. Before entering heavy spaces. There are places we have to go even when every part of us wants to stay home. Courtrooms, hospitals, meetings filled with tension, homes where the energy is always just a little too sharp, events where you know you'll be met with judgment, jealousy, or unspoken pressure. You can feel it before you even get there, like your body knows something your mind is trying to ignore. Your shoulders tighten, your breath shortens. You start to rehearse things in your head, trying to stay one step ahead. You tell yourself to stay calm, stay polite, stay grounded, but inside you're bracing. That's the truth no one talks about. It's not just the event that drains you, it's the emotional armor you put on before you even arrive. And by the time you get back home, you feel like you've carried something that doesn't belong to you. This is where preparation becomes protection, not of your time, but of your energy. And it begins with a simple act. Before leaving your house, take a small pinch of salt and pepper in your hand. Don't rush, don't treat it like a task, treat it like a message to yourself. Today, I walk in my own energy. Hold the mixture for a moment and set an intention, not a wish, not a fear. A clear, steady thought, I am protected in every action and word today. Then walk out. And after you've stepped a few feet away from your door when no one's looking, when it feels natural, let the salt and pepper fall behind you, quietly, casually, as if you're letting go of something you no longer need to carry. That small gesture means more than you think. It tells the world what's behind me stays behind me. It draws a line without drama, without noise. A quiet promise to yourself that you will not be followed by doubt, conflict, or the heaviness of another space. Throughout the day, you might still feel waves of tension. That's natural, but now when you do, there's something you can return to, a small, invisible anchor you've placed beneath your own feet. You can press your pocket, feel the corner of that salt and pepper packet you tucked away earlier, and remind yourself, I am centered, I am safe. If needed, you can discreetly sprinkle a tiny bit under the table or near your seat and whisper softly, calm heart, steady Kai, smooth outcomes. It's not magic, it's a reminder, a grounding. A way to stay close to yourself when everything around you feels far away. And when the day ends, when you walk back through your own door, leave the weight outside. Wash your hands with warm water and a bit of salt. Let the water run slowly over your fingers as if it's carrying away anything you picked up by accident. If you have time, wipe your face with a warm cloth, not to cleanse your skin but to clear your field. This is your reset, this is your return. There's something incredibly dignified in these small rituals, not because they shield you from the world, but because they help you move through it without losing your balance. They give you a way to show up fully without staying cracked open. They allow you to care, to engage, to speak clearly and still come home with your peace intact. Some days are heavier than others. Some spaces will always feel harder to walk into. But when you carry yourself with presence and salt and pepper in your pocket, you walk in lighter, you walk in with choice, because energy is real. Boundaries are necessary, and how you prepare before walking into a difficult space can shape how you walk back out. We've just walked through 7 small rituals, each one simple, each one quiet, but together they form something much more profound. A way of living, a way of listening, a way of returning home not just physically but energetically. Salt and pepper, 2 ordinary ingredients always within reach. But when you use them with intention, they become something else entirely. They become anchors, gentle guardians, silent tools that remind you this space is yours to care for, this energy is yours to shape, this life, messy, beautiful, real, is yours to walk through with calm, because energy isn't theory, it's how you feel when you wake up, it's the way conversations shift, it's the reason you can be exhausted in a clean room or feel peaceful in a chaotic one. Energy is the undercurrent beneath everything. And the moment you learn to tend to it softly, steadily, you begin to reclaim something you didn't even know you'd lost: ease. These rituals don't require belief, they ask for presence. They ask you to slow down just enough to notice what's been there all along, your power to reset the atmosphere around you and in turn within you. So if your home has felt heavy, if your days have felt tight, if you've been absorbing too much from the world and forgetting to return to yourself, this is your reminder. You don't need to burn everything down to begin again. You just need to place a bowl in the corner, sprinkle something at the door, breathe at the window, hold your own energy when you walk into places that once unbalanced you, and trust that the home will respond, because it always does. Thank you for walking through this with me, truly. Thank you for caring enough about your space, your well-being, and your peace to listen, to reflect, and to try something new. That alone is an act of healing. That alone is enough to shift the energy around you in ways you may not even see right away, but you will feel it. May your home feel lighter. May your heart feel steadier. May your energy become your own again. And wherever you are, whatever room you're sitting in right now, may this be the moment it begins to feel like home again.